Wednesday, November 30th, 2022, last day of November. Man, December is here, last month of the year. And yesterday, well, today's Wednesday, so I guess it's WTF Wednesday, because for the past week, all I've heard is yesterday was Travel Tuesday. Never heard of this. Travel Tuesday, and then what was it? Giving Tuesday, and Cyber Monday, and then Spend More Money Sunday, Small Business Saturday, Black Friday, Thanksgiving, Cyber Week or whatever, Black Friday week. You know, it's just nonstop. And then the numbers came out and said Black Friday spending broke records. That's all I hear. Record-setting Black Friday season. And then they give the numbers. It's something like a little over $9 billion or something. And it was either 2.2 or 2.3% up from last year. Okay, don't we have like 8% inflation? So sales, they're up 2.3%. Spending's up 2.3% since last year. However, the price of everything went up 8%. Do you see how you're losing? I mean, it's just unbelievable, though, how the media paints it, and if you don't dig into it. And I saw one reporter actually say that, well, that's not adjusted for inflation. I mean, it's all a lie. I mean, so the sales were down this year. And then they also said that more people went shopping. And then the other one was more people spent more money for the same things. See, they danced around it. But they didn't really, they don't want to talk about inflation and what it really means and how your purchasing power just got eroded. Even though it looks like more money was spent, you got less. That's just how it is. Your dollar became worthless. Because they printed more money. They created more money and dumped it into the system. That's where all this inflation's coming from. See, for those of you who think, okay, there is... All right. Inflation in its purest sense is just the inflation of the money supply. You pump up the money supply, okay? And you wouldn't be able to have higher prices on things if you didn't have the money to pay for it. It would be deflationary. So if you had a currency that actually became worth more, you could buy more with less. Because if there's only $100 in circulation, you can't charge $150 for something, for an object. Because you can't pay for it. So that's why you come up with a debt-based system to where it's like, hey, let's inflate the money, let's create a bunch of money, and let's attach a little debt to it. So every time something comes into existence, somebody's got to pay it back, a little extra back. Oh, what a great idea. And so you come up with this Ponzi scheme called the Federal Reserve, formed in 1913. Go look up Jekyll Island, Creature from Jekyll Island by G. Edward Griffin. Read that book. But you come up with this system to where it's just you have to continue to create money. And then when you stop doing it, that's when problems start happening because you need more money in the system. It's like gasoline. I mean, you got to keep putting gasoline in the tank. Otherwise, it doesn't run. And we need an unlimited supply of gasoline at this point. We just got to keep it going. Keep it going till the sun went down. Kept it going. Oh, great. I'm not going to be able to open this door. You see, it's cold right now. So the window doesn't want to roll down. Oh, for frick's sake. Yeah, I waved and you didn't wave back. You're not very nice today. This is what I get. I get my seatbelt caught. At least wave. Come on, man. Whatever. Yeah, on to my next destination. Anyway, that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with all these fake numbers. Go out and spend more. They have to show how much you've spent, that it's important to spend, because that's what keeps the economy going. And then we're going to have the Fed Chairman Powell today speaking, and everybody's, well, what's he going to say? Is he going to give a clue? to what's going to happen. Are they going to raise rates more? Are they going to lower rates? They're already starting to put the narrative out there that in December they may go half a point, or they may, might just pause, so it's getting to that point where rates are getting they're putting a pinch on people. This is essentially what it is. It's making money that has to come into the system harder to get. So that's what you're dealing with now. So they're trying to back it down a little bit and prepare you for the ultimate taper when they have to, change directions, and that's just what they do. So see, you wave to me. Wave back. Be nice. Do something nice for somebody. You don't even have to do a lot. Just wave, smile, open the door. World would be a better place. Instead, we got companies like Balenciaga. You ever see that? Go and look at Balenciaga and see what's going on there. Unbelievable. But I think a lot of that's leaking out, what's happening with the children at the border, and it's not just that. That's kind of the gateway to where it'll wake people up. Hey, there's this, we're stuck in traffic at the border. Put it together. And that's what's happening to children. So you're going to see people see that and say, oh my gosh, what, they're bringing these children into the country. What's going on? And then you'll realize, well, where are they going? It's just like the Epstein list. We have Ghislaine Maxwell, his handler, who is, convicted, yet we have no. So there's a crime committed with underage girls. Somebody's convicted for it, but the people who were actually the customers don't even talk about it. It's like, well, it happened. It was happening, right? It was happening. So who was participating in this? Who was participating in this underage, these escapades with Epstein and many others in Congress and people flying on planes to little island. What was it? I can't remember what it's called. Little Pleasure Island, and they're doing things. Former presidents there. I mean, absolutely unbelievable. But that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a culture of elitism. They think they control you. They think they can do whatever they want, and they're unaccountable. Well, guess what? Once the people start finding out, maybe, just maybe, enough of us will wake up and say enough is enough. We're not going to participate anymore. We're no longer going to use your vampire chips. We're not going to participate in this Ponzi scheme that you've created. We're going to do something else. We're going to go into silver. We're going to go into Litecoin. We're going to go into, it doesn't matter, a new form of money that we create on our own. And see, this is what, when people look at cryptocurrency, they say, well, what gives it any value? Why is this one valuable and that one not valuable? Well, it has a use case. You can use it. You can send it from one person to another. If they pull the plug on the dollar-based system and take all cash out of the system and say you've got to go to a CBDC, central bank digital currency, and you got to have a special wallet and transfer and this and that, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to opt out? How are you going to get out of it? It's a serious question, because they're rolling out. What are you going to do to opt out? And it can be any form of cryptocurrency at that point. It just happens to be like, they come after Litecoin, they come after Bitcoin, and they slap fees on miners, and they regulate the miners, and they do all this stuff. All right, let's say they make it so difficult that you can't even do anything with it. Well, you just copy the code and you start another network. People's money. And so you can transact value. It really doesn't matter. It's just the ability to transact value. And then you have certain restrictions on it. So you could create an unlimited supply of coins and say, hey, we're going to trade with this. Problem is, it's unlimited. And so it's like, okay, well, at least I sent you something, and people start accepting it. But when there are no restraints on it, people are like, well, shoot, how much more is there out there? I really don't know how to value my, basket of eggs, or, my bucket of tomatoes, and how many of these, Dogecoins do I get? I don't know, because I don't know how many there are. But if you copy the code or alter the code, doesn't matter. I mean, you could take Litecoin code and just say, hey, we're going to alter it and we're going to make it 42 million, and just change the code that way. Or just copy the whole code and start running it on computers in a little community of like-minded people. And it's like, hey, we've got our means of transferring value. We know how many they're going to be. You know, there's a limit to it. Or you use something like Redcoin, which at this point, you know, they've all been mined out, and there's like, I don't know how many billion, 28 billion or something, 30 billion. But you can have it on your computer and you stake it and you get more of them. And so you don't need to run heavy duty mining equipment, and you can have a laptop running, and then you can send, you know, value to anybody you want. And then if you're running that code, you're a node, you get rewarded. You get like so many % a year of new Redcoin that are created. So, you know, you got Dogecoin, which has to be mined out, a lot of heavy duty equipment. And then you got something like Redcoin. I'm not promoting either one. I'm just thinking of what could work, because you can put whatever name you want on it, copy the code, and start a new network. But you have Redcoin, which very resource intensive. You don't need all this heavy duty mining equipment and all that. You just need a little old laptop. Hardly, as long as it boots up and runs, and you got a connectivity to the internet, you can support the network. And so that's the kind of thing I'm looking at, to where it's like, okay, do we get to that point where everything's locked down so tight and things have fallen apart so bad that, you know, just having any kind of weak internet connection, any way you can get it, whether it's peer-to-peer with neighbors, you know, one guy's got some, you know, satellite link, whatever, doesn't matter, just staying online to where you can transact value, you got to look at the basis, the most easy way to do it. And, you know, something like that, you'd be able to do it. Yeah, I mean, the percentage goes up every year, but you're also rewarded for participating in the network, and you can transmit value. At least you can send value digitally. Now, if it gets really bad, you're going to want to have something you can barter with. You're going to want to have some silver, ideally, you know, small amounts of silver in your pocket, where you can take it around and say, hey, here's a Roosevelt dime. It's got, you know, 90% silver in it, you know, or a quarter, 1964 and before, or a cigar, or... yeah, always have a cigar handy. Can't find it when you need it, though, right? There, or a cigar, or a nice Rocky Patel sun-grown cigar. Might be smoking that later. Or a little bottle of whiskey, or some water, you know, purified water, distilled water, you know, whatever. You have something of value at that point. Then you got to start thinking, okay, what do I need on a daily basis? What do other people need? Do I have access to it? Do I have it? Can I produce it? You know, if it gets to that point, you don't want to be living in the city, because there's very little that you're going to be able to produce, because you need land to produce things. Now, you may have a storehouse of things, but the thing is, if people know that you have it, they're going to be coming after it. And there's a lot of people that can get together in gangs and groups and come take your stuff. You know, if you're more rural, then you start thinking, all right, you know, how can I contract, or I should say barter with my neighbors, you know, this and that. What are people going to need? How do we, you know, work together? And what are the means to do that? I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen. All we know is we've got a lot of change coming, and we're seeing it happen. I mean, you've got China right now locking down everything, zero COVID policy, to where one person gets it, let's shut down the whole factory. Well, since we get so much crap from China and don't produce it at home, and never really made America great again like we should have, and brought industry home, we're still dependent upon them. How many of our prescription drugs that all of us Americans are addicted to, a bunch of drug addicts, come from China? How many of them? A lot. And if you can't get access to it because there's a zero COVID policy and can't get your Adderall anymore, you're going to have a bunch of young people freaking out. But that's kind of where you're at. You know, if they just shut down because of some knucklehead political stance, then what are we going to do if we're dependent on them? What about all this crap that we get from them that we need to make batteries, put in cars? Where are you going to get all that, Elon? You know, it's a fine line between civilization and just complete chaos. not trying to be a fear monger, but I mean, you got to think, I mean, what are you going to do? What you should do is go watch that movie Died Suddenly. If you can find it. It's I don't think it's on YouTube. I think you can find it on Twitter. Well, I know you can find a link on my website, clintwestwood.net, and then I've got a red pill section. Under there, there's a link to Died Suddenly, the movie. You should go watch it. Watch it with a critical, open mind, and just, think about it, and, because there's some things in there to where I'm like, are those statistics right? Am I seeing that kind of thing around me? I don't know, but I don't work in the hospitals. I don't, and so I don't know what the real numbers are, but there are some things in there where it's, I mean, you got to ask yourself, how did this happen? Because you got the evidence right in front of you. So anyway, it's something to go watch. Died Suddenly. Again, it's linked off my website, clintwestwood.net. It's worth watching. It's like a little over an hour, and it will emotionally hit you in a couple of different ways, and it's just okay. Wow. So yeah, go check that out. Anyway, I mean, the whole Black Friday thing, the whole go spend thing, and it's just one entrainment day to the next. And that's why I can't stand it. It's what's Wednesday? What's this Wednesday? It's back to work Wednesday. I mean, who knows? Everything's got to have a title. Everything's got to have this. It's this day, and so it just to kind of mind numb us and say, well, it's the 1st of December, so we got to have a party or something. It's December 1st. And it's just every freaking day. So I'm kind of tired of the propaganda. I'm tired of watching all the pushing the sales and pushing the money on you. And then you just step back and say, what do you really need? What do you really need? I mean, do I need to go get this? Oh, go get a new car, put a bow on it. Merry Christmas, honey. I mean, come on. Get real. And how's that Inflation Reduction Act doing? It's doing pretty well. We're down 0.3%. Everything's an illusion. That's really what it comes down to. Ultimately, you got to step back and you got to say, what if things really fall apart? What do I need? What do I need to have on hand? What do I need to have for barter? I need something of value. So many things that people have right now have no value. All these promoted ads and emails that you get, and this, oh, got to have this for Christmas. And it's like, there's no value to it. Nothing. No value. And I know a lot of you people like real trees, but you could get an artificial tree, keep it for 10 years and save a lot of money. I know it's fake and it's not the real pine, scent. And maybe that's what you need. Maybe it's like, me smoking a cigar. It's just one of those things to where it's like, I don't care what the cost is. It's the feeling that it gives me. And that's fine. Because as human beings, we're here in this shell, this avatar thing that we control. And, we're sensing beings. So it's good to have some of those things. Smells are very important. Olfactory sense, to where it might take you back to another time and it activates something in your brain. So if, you need a tree that smells like pine and, you need that smell, then no, that's good for you. It's good to activate something inside. But if you want to save money, there are ways to do it. I thought about stringing popcorn because I make popcorn in the bar now on Friday nights. And I said, hey, we can string the tree with popcorn, because they used to do that, way back in the day. As decoration. Then I thought, I ain't gonna work. Dogs will eat it. So yeah, you got to think of those things. But dogs get fed. All right, I've been rambling, talking a bunch of crap. Looking at Litecoin, I don't even know what the price is right now. I can check it live, and then we can kind of see. I know the crypto market has kind of had a little bit of a overnight, a little bit of a move to the upside, a little energy to the upside. I mean, I guess if this app's right, we're at like $78 or something. Bitcoin's just under 17,000. But it's the end of the month, and a lot of times you'll see some movement because that monthly candle on the chart closes, and so it could sets the tone, sets the precedent for what's happening. So we might see some movement toward the end of the day, either up or down. rather than just sideways. But anyway, take possession of your goods, take possession of your wealth, keep it in your own possession. And as things unfold and you're seeing more and more things that are disturbing, because I think you're going to see that now, especially with Twitter becoming much more open. And if you're not on Twitter, you probably should be, because there's a lot of information out there, especially if you're into crypto. Set up a Twitter account. And I mean, there's a good way to go on my website, clintwestwood.net. I've got a link, my Twitter. Click on that, follow me on Twitter, and then there's a lot of people I interact with, that I follow in the crypto space, just kind of follow and see what I do. And then you'll kind of meet new contacts, and, it's like, oh, what's this guy about? What's this gal about? And, that'll lead you down the rabbit hole of crypto. But there's a lot of good information out on Twitter. A lot of truth can be told on Twitter now. It's being opened up. And looks like Elon, I don't know what you think of him. Doesn't matter. I've got my own thoughts in a couple of ways. So I'm not real sure about him. But he looks like he's opening up Twitter. A lot more information coming out. A lot more of the crimes that have been committed are coming out on Twitter. And it's being allowed now. So I think that's a good platform right now to kind of be on and pay attention to what the news is. Just my feeling of what's going on right now, my sense of it. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful Wednesday. Westwood Wednesday. It's Westwood Wednesday. Start reporting that it's a Westwood Wednesday. You need to drink a little bourbon and smoke a cigar. Everybody will be smoking, drinking. Only if it's on MSNBC, CNBC, the big news stations, NBC. Only if Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb, say that it's Westwood Wednesday. Then everybody will do that. But anyway. All right. Love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Always trust yourself in these times. Use your own discernment. Go with your gut. That's going to be your most important tool to navigate through this time. All right. Love you all. Hit that thumbs up if you feel like it. Subscribe if you feel like it. If not, that's okay. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and always trust yourself.